Flexibility of the Cosmos stack, the speed, the liquidity of the XRPL mainnet just unlocks a ton of new use cases. And
we launched testnet 3 months ago, and we've seen in 3 months about 15 million transactions. This gives us a lot of energy to keep building because it feels like people has appetite for it.
I was really excited for a prediction market because the XRP army is like phenomenal.
Welcome for everybody bearing with a beautiful day that we have outside. Thanks everybody again for joining us in Sovereign EVM Day, the first in the series. I'm super pleased to have you guys join me today. Ferran, Luke, say a quick hi, of course. Say a quick hi.
Hello, everyone.
Ferran is the CEO of Peersist. Peersist is the team helping Ripple build the XRPL EVM Sidechain on the Cosmos EVM stack. And today is a wonderful day, not only because it's been quite a road for this happening. Most people know Ripple XRP as this monster ecosystem, of course, that's been around for years, working on the payment infrastructure, on payment rails, and many other TradFi or institutional use cases as well. What we know less of is that Ripple's or XRPL's programmability layer is very tight. It's not as flexible. Therefore, XRP and the teams in Commons, RippleX, and Ripple and Peersist came together with this vision of expanding programmability, bringing DeFi to Ripple in a native way. How did you guys come to that decision?
For sure. So the XRP ledger as a blockchain has been around for over a decade. So it's 12 years old. It has custom built for financial institutions, payment use cases, and other mainstream financial applications. The problem with that is it was a bit more rigid in its architecture in terms of what you can build, in terms of the flexibility of use cases. But it's also very fast and very cheap. So we're maintaining those core primitives within that chain. But we see a ton of different opportunities within other ecosystems, so Ethereum, Cosmos, Solana, other ecosystems for being general purpose programmability chains. And we're here to support those ecosystems to really unlock the power of XRP, the power of the XRP ledger, and interact with other ecosystems. That's what
we're seeing a wonderful trend that I think Ripple and XRP are pioneering, which is this set of primitives and ecosystems with a super strong asset community and, of course, community of builders that are seeking to build this subset builder ecosystem for native DeFi or to mostly leverage the things that you built on top, right? Again, the payment infrastructure. How did you come to the Cosmos stack, Ferran, for the XRPL sidechain?
Yeah, so basically about 3 years ago, we were partnering with Ripple. We wanted to extend programmability to the XRP ledger. As Luke mentioned it, there is a set of primitives and pre-built features which covers a significant portion of the use cases, but there is a large, long tail of customization for DeFi products, for example, that you require full programmability that unfortunately XRPL cannot handle at the moment because it's launched way before Ethereum. So like the first general purpose blockchain was
over 10 years it's been now.
Over 10 years, right? So like XRP ledger was right after Bitcoin, so it was a huge improvement in programmability, but then obviously Ethereum changed the game. So we were looking for, we knew that EVM has to be there. We knew that we wanted XRP as a native currency, and we had to find a framework because we were not going to rebuild another EVM from scratch. So we compared different options. I think to mention a few, we had like Avalanche subnets, we have Polkadot, we've seen Ethereum that later become Evmos, that later become Cosmos EVM. But we started seeing that, and this technology for us was super interesting because it allowed to build in a modular way all the things we needed. One of those, for example, is that we have the proof of authority module, which is the consensus mechanism that replicates the XRP ledger consensus mechanism. So this kind of things needs to be very modular. And this technology helped us to build that. We spin up a first chain, then we discovered IBC, interoperability, which was something that we were not essentially looking for at the first moment, but then it was like as a great surprise. And the last big surprise was like finding the Cosmos community that we didn't know where, and we were targeting to launch only for EVM, but then we've seen like a very big and vibrant ecosystem around Cosmos that also we are connected to. And now I think this evolved to a much bigger update.
From this perspective shift, let's say, of XRP and the main ledger having its set use cases, to now thinking, okay, how do we build a highly programmable ecosystem? You've been working on this for the last 2 years and a little bit more, let's say. How was that test network for you? What did you discover that maybe you were less familiar, maybe from the Ripple side?
So I'll take that. I'm super impressed with the uptake of this testnet from day one, really. And I don't know whether we have Ferran and his team to thank for that, to be quite frank. It sounds like he's been in and around and exposed with the Cosmos ecosystem pretty strongly. I think it was clear that developers within the XRP Ledger ecosystem needed something a bit more flexible, but the XRP Ledger itself still has strengths in terms of speed, efficiency, liquidity. And I think the combination of the flexibility of the Cosmos stack, the speed, the liquidity of the XRPL mainnet just unlocks a ton of new use cases. And it's no wonder that we've seen a ton of demand from day one from teams to build on that tech stack, right? It's a powerhouse of a stack.
Maybe if I can add a little bit on there. So as Persis, we've been about 10 years on building on the crypto industry. And we launched like maybe more than 50 projects over this time, right? And in most of the projects, you have like to push and coordinate marketing and do a lot of stuff like to get some traction. But when you see like a good product market fit is where like organically these things come out, right? And for the XRPL EVM, we launched testnet 3 months ago. Since almost day one, we had problems with the RPC rate limitings. We had problems with the bridge that was having more volume than the rest of the chains combined, right, on testnet. Obviously, there was bots and stuff, but someone has to spend their money on bots, right? So I think the worst thing is just getting ignored. And we've seen in 3 months about 15 million transactions, 6 million addresses. Like testnet has showed up as, at least on this stage, that there was a good product market fit, and this gives us a lot of energy to keep building because it feels like people has appetite for it.
Keep building, 3 years, a couple million transactions on testnet. All of that to say that about 40 minutes ago, it just went to mainnet.
Thank you to Ferran for his hard work on that. It's been a long journey, and it's an exceptional day. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Same to you.
Wonderful to share it with the Ripple ecosystem and with us as well. We're super excited. We've seen you guys sweat today, not just because of the sun. They were sitting over there in the corner preparing for lunch. And I think later on we'll join the Commons event as well to continue the celebration. Let's talk a little bit about the present. Launch day, what are the teams building on the sidechain? What are the overlaps between XRP and Cosmos these days?
Yeah, Nick, if you allow me, just for a few seconds, since we announced the mainnet launch, I wanted to give credit to a lot of people that get involved, because I think it's a moment to share, right? Please. So apart from Ripple X, that's been at least 10, 20 people super involved. XRPL Commons, they have been supported us since the first time. And then as teams behind the scenes that sometimes the tech guys are not that exposed, but we have Common Prefix, Nick there. We have Axelar that is enabling the bridge. Adria, who's the CTO of Persis and has dealt with all this stuff. And much more other partners there. So I think it's important to give credit to all these people because it's been a long journey and it was kind of difficult. So yeah, if you can contribute.
No, please. Thank you so much for just pushing the celebration and giving credit where credit is due. If you want to go for it as well.
Sure. I mean, Ferran's covered the thank yous and actually has been way closer to the project on the ground level than I have. So I can't emphasize that more. I think in terms of the original question you asked in terms of the applications that they're building today, I think there's two tracks, right? So there's some that Ripple and the XRPL are supporting, which is Strobe, Secured, Vertex, which are bringing different DeFi use cases that weren't available on the mainnet live today, and in the coming months, more and more will come as we see it ramp up. There's also, what I was really surprised about is the number of Cosmos native players that have just come and embraced us as a family. So thank you to the Cosmos teams. And again, I keep repeating it, but I think that's Ferran's doing because it definitely wasn't mine or the team's. So it's welcome. Come build on the XRPL EVM sidechain, and we're here to support you.
Ferran, you probably have a better list top of head, but I think LS Stride even here is building on XRP as well.
Yeah, like from Cosmos ecosystem, we will have a lot of the apps that should be ready right now, if I'm not wrong. So some of the main use cases that I'm very excited, one is Alice Network. The guys from Alice, they've built an entire DeFi products regarding leverage, XRP, perpetuals, futures, a range, new thing of applications that we didn't see, at least in a very popular way on the XRP ledger before that. The guys at Injective also has been pioneering, partnering with us and launching a couple of products for their ecosystem. The guys from Noble as well to mint and bridge USDC. I think on the Cosmos Hub as well, we are going to have a couple of applications, Stride, a couple of others. We are having conversations, so I think all these things will come progressively. And yeah, this is like mostly for the Cosmos ecosystems. I see we will have much more. Obviously, how to know it mentioned Skip and Osmosis that are some of the most popular apps and wallets out there, such as Kepler, Leap, and Cosmos Station. So there's a few things already available, and then from the organic community, there's a bunch of Uniswaps, V3, V2, all these redeployments, let's say, of Ethereum apps that probably they have its own customizations and specificities, but I calculate that there will be about 20 of the apps available right now.
Super exciting. It's great to see how the assets started flowing immediately, even in testnet through Skip and a couple of the projects. Alice, we've seen the test live and the appetite as well for our ecosystem to tap into what Ripple is building. It's super exciting, and what's even more exciting for us is seeing XRP come onto the IBC network, now connected with Ethereum and the rest of the hundreds of chains, the Cosmos Hub. It marks a great milestone for us. What's next? What's next in the roadmap? We're now on mainnet.
Sure. So short term, we're looking at doubling down on the core infrastructure for the chain. So dApps, infrastructure providers, a variety of different use cases, right? That just the fundamentals that any chain needs to have, liquidity. And longer term, I think the EVM sidechain can become a hub for more complex DeFi interactions that require Turing complete smart contracts. And there'll be a number of different ways that we explore that. It will be iterative. We'll see how we go. But we're here to explore, understand what builders want to build on the EVM sidechain and really looking to see how we can accelerate that.
Yeah, maybe to add to some of this, as Luke said, now I think most of the efforts has been into coordinating launch, which for everyone that launched the chain will know that it's not an easy thing. And then, obviously, as he mentioned, there's a few months ahead, I think, to onboard the apps, infrastructure tools that just needs to happen, get listed, supported with the right logos, and avoid scams, all this stuff. But yeah, I think in general, more on long-term vision, I think we've provided somehow today the status quo of technology in terms of programmability and interoperability to the XRP ledger or the XRP currency itself that was more isolated to that. I think we have now a very good opportunity with the Ripple team, who has like a very big team of amazing engineers as well, to not just follow our own silos, but to just go ahead with the rest of the industry and even be the ones that push some of the new research and the new updates for all that part. And I hope this is going to happen, and I'm sure Luke it's going to support that.
For sure. I think that is really underappreciated, that the XRP and the XRPL is one of the leading chains in crypto. It's number 3, right, by total market cap, 130 billion, someone said. And I think it's really underappreciated that $130 billion of liquidity could flow freely across all of the chains that the Cosmos ecosystem connects us with, and the EVM chains. And I think that's a huge unlock. So looking forward to seeing how that develops, what use cases can be created in that stack.
We're super excited for sure for that, and it follows a pattern that we've heard with TAC and the Telegram community. With this strong masses that follow certain projects or certain entry points, let's say, to Web3. How they got onboarded? They got onboarded via XRP. They got onboarded via Telegram or Ton at one case. And these people want to stay true, of course, to their origins, but they still want to explore and further find new use cases. So I'm super excited to see how that develops. Now you have a lot of builders as well in front of you. What use cases would you invite them to try on the sidechain?
Well, I think for me, one of the most exciting ones, for sure, it's DeFi, right? That if there's like this metric, TVL versus market cap, obviously on XRP Ledger, market cap is so high that the division essentially tends to zero. So I think this is a good indication to just see that there is a huge potential for DeFi to be unlocked. I think we want to get much more TVL, get other assets flowing to the XRP Ledger. I think XRPL also has been super well positioned in institutional DeFi. And I think over the industry keeps maturing, there will be a very interesting point of contact between the Web3 DeFi and institutional DeFi, which, in my opinion, I think Ripple is probably the best positioned player right now to leverage all these technologies. And yeah, I think after that, in my opinion as well, like prediction markets, it's something that seems to have a very good market fit outside the crypto itself. It's like a good use case. So I hope we see some prediction markets as well on the EVM sidechain.
You actually just stole mine. I was really excited for a prediction market because the XRP army is like phenomenal. I logged onto Twitter yesterday and there was like 150 people in the spaces when the market's not particularly up, right, as an ecosystem. So they're active, they're engaged, they're really understanding. And there's also a huge retail audience that want to try consumer crypto apps, I believe. And a prediction market, I think, unlocks the power of the army. That's one use case, but there's plenty more as well to explore.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ferran, Luke, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be together again in the afternoon in the Commons event. And congrats.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Nico.